and gentlemen, in today's video, I will be ranking every NFL fan base tier list style. This was a reoccurring request that I saw a lot of all off-season long, and I agree that we should do it again because these videos are actually one of the more fun ones for me to make. It's fun because my opinions on fan bases are constantly changing because year in and year out, you get to see how fan bases react differently to how their team performs. You get to see how people act with a good team, with a bad team, with a mediocre team. You get to see how they respond to injuries and losses and big moments. But with that being said, you also have to remember that opinions can also change both ways, for the better and for the worse. Couple of quick plugs before we hop right into it. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products, or guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 wager after using code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's get into ranking every NFL fan base. Alright guys, so here we are at the tier list, and I have this chopped up into 5 different categories. So at the top, we've got the elite fan bases. Under that, we've got the fan bases that I have no complaints about. In the middle, we have the fan bases where half are cool, but half also really suck. Towards the bottom, we have the fan bases that are annoying / obnoxious. And at the bottom, we have the fan bases that are just flat out totally insufferable, meaning I cannot stand them. So anyway, now that we've described all the ranks, we can begin with the New England Patriots. I don't have any complaints about them at all, and I don't know if that's just me or if that's majority of Bills fans, but there's always been like this weird respect between us. Back when they were kicking our ass years ago, year in and year out, we always respected them. The last 3 to 4 years when we've been kicking their ass year in and year out, they've respected us. I don't ever see them talking trash on social media. I don't ever see them talking trash in person. I think they're just good football fans. Now moving on, we have Tampa Bay. I think they're elite. I really do. Dude, this fan base is always honest with themselves, at least through my eyes. I don't see them overrating their team. They don't overrate their quarterback. They don't overrate their coach, man. They call their team for what it is. It's a passionate, loyal fan base. They will support their team if they are good. If they are bad, they will appreciate every win to its fullest extent, and they are just there for the ride that they are going to be taken on. I don't think I've ever had a bad interaction with a Buccaneers fan. I'm being dead ass, like not once. Now moving on, we got the Giants. Their fans are half cool and half also really stink. Reason I say that is because half of the fans were and still are being massive babies about the whole Saquon Barkley situation. Like, guys, it's been several months now. It's part of the fucking game of football. Also, there's that large group of the fans that were defending Daniel Jones over the last 4 years. Some of them have started to see the light, but there's still a lot who haven't swallowed the pill yet. You're delusional. Moving on, we have Saint fans. I think we used to butt heads, but I have no complaints about them now, at least over the last year. We've seen eye to eye virtually on everything. We both hate your coach. We both hate your quarterback. This fan base as a collective unit wanted to tear their offensive coordinator's head off last year, which I feel bad. If you guys hated Pete, you're really gonna hate Clint Kubiak. But I think they're funny, and I think they're an honest fan base, even if it is brutally honest. Now moving on, we got the Lions, a team that used to notoriously be in the elite fan base, and now they're in the half is cool and half also really suck, because half of you guys know how to handle being a good team and half of you guys don't. Like, some of your heads have gotten so big, it's ridiculous. Like, you have legitimately forgotten who you are. So this is a message to all the Lions fans who have stayed classy. Can you please try and spread the message that, like, you guys are actually becoming intolerable? You're not there yet, but another year might put you down there. Now we got the Ravens, and I gotta be honest, I still find you guys totally obnoxious. You're not insufferable, but Twitter has ruined your fan base for me. If they see a tweet they don't like, they will legitimately travel in flocks on Twitter and just ambush the tweet. They also have a tendency to just make tweets that have nothing to do with them about them, and I don't understand why. Like, I could literally post a poll saying, who would you rather have between Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, and someone would comment in the first 10 seconds, Lamar Jackson's the correct answer here. Like, what did he have to do with the fucking tweet? Now moving on, we got Bengal fans. I have no complaints. I truly, I think I've mentioned this before, but I feel like there's been a connection between the Bill fan base and the Bengal fan base ever since the DeMar Hamlin incident, so I won't talk any shit about them. If you go through something like that together, there's just, the mutual respect is always gonna be there. Now moving on, we got Dallas. I'm not gonna lie, the personal aspect of their fan base I think is very likable, but the social media aspect is insufferable. And I understand a large majority of the social media fan base is trolling, but they're not even good trolls. Like, they're just lame. Now we've got the Vikings, and I'm gonna put them I'm an elite, and anybody calling me biased for this, yeah, no shit. However, the Viking fans are literally known for being nice. The people of Minnesota in general are known for being nice. This is the type of fan base where if you went to Minneapolis as an opposing team and beat the Vikings and went to the bar afterwards and went up to a group of Viking fans and made a joke about your team beating them, they would laugh and probably give you a cheers. They're good people, man. They're good football fans. Now moving on, we have the Dolphins, and half are cool and half also really suck. And I'm talking about the half that absolutely hate the Bills. And I'm not talking like a football hate. Like, they have a deep down disdain for Buffalo fans. They fucking hate us. They say the meanest, the nastiest shit. I'm talking about the fans that have taken a sports rivalry and made it into a personal rivalry. Like, it's so unnecessary, man. If you're gonna argue about sports, keep it about sports. Now moving on, we got the Bills, obviously elite. Those are my people. I will not talk trash about my own kind. Now we got the Cardinals, and no news is good news in this situation. And what I mean by that is I don't hear from them. I have no complaints about them. I have nothing to bash them on, man. They've been bad for a couple years and they've been silent for a couple years. It's a lot better to do that than be bad and talk shit. Now we got the Rams. No complaints there either. That's another team in my eyes that just tells it how it is. Rarely do I ever feel like they're talking above their capabilities. Rarely do I ever find myself annoyed with them. Rarely do I ever find myself in a bad interaction with them. In my eyes, for a team that just won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and not everyone will agree with this, especially the division rivals, but I think they're kind of humble. Now moving on, we have the Jets. No complaints, dude. This fan base just wants to see their team have a real opportunity. They just want to see them not get hurt and play a healthy season. This fan base talks more shit about their own team than anybody else. Now we've got the Bears, and I apologize, man. I'm not speaking for all of you, but majority of you have become completely insufferable ever since drafting Caleb Williams. I get it, you're excited and it's good to be excited. But I mean, that is all they are talking about. Caleb Williams, Caleb Williams, Caleb Williams. He's gonna win the Super Bowl. He's the top 3 quarterback in the league. He's the best quarterback the Bears have ever had. He's gonna be the best #1 overall draft pick in NFL history. Like, he hasn't even played a real game. Moving on, we got the Steelers. I'm sorry, but you guys are annoying. I do have a couple of really close friends who are Steeler fans. I have met a lot of Steeler fans who I think are great, but majority of them I find obnoxious, I find unrealistic. And this is another team that absolutely loves to just make everything about themselves. Now we've got the Texans. Half is cool, half suck, and the half that are cool are the ones who have stayed humble during their team's explosion, and the half that suck are the people looking down on the rest of the league, acting as if they've already won the Super Bowl for this year. Like, you guys do realize there is still 17 games to play, correct? Now moving on, we have the Colts, and I think they have an elite fan base, dude. Every Colts fan I know is the same exact person. Much like the Jets, they talk shit about themselves more than any other team, and also, if a game starts going bad, Colt fans on command will just start getting piss hammered. I don't know if that's a thing going on in Indy, but in Minnesota it is. Like, if you're a Colts fan and your team is losing, by the end of that game, you are not going to be able to walk. Now moving on, we have Jacksonville. No complaints. Now, I will say, when they were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, they were starting to get kind of big-headed, but then last year, they really humbled themselves out, and I'm curious to see how they'll respond this year if they start doing really good again. But coming out of last year, dude, I don't think I heard from a Jacksonville fan the last 2 months of the season. Now moving on, we got the Falcons. I think they're elite, dude. They crack me up. You will sit next to a Falcon fan and watch their team blow a 20-point lead in the most catastrophic fashion possible. And they'll literally just shrug their shoulders and go, oh well. Like, they have been through so much shit, man, that they just, nothing can faze them anymore, and I have to respect it. I give them the flowers. Now moving on, we got the Titans. I feel like I've said this every time I've ranked them, but I continue to say it. They don't exist. I don't have a complaint on them. They're a fucking ghost. Still to this day, August 20th, 2024, Wyatt has never in person met a Titans fan. Like, they're not real. And then we got the Chiefs. You guys are annoying and obnoxious, but you're not insufferable. You're nice people. You just really like to remind people constantly that you're the best team in the league and that you have Patrick Mahomes. And when I say, like, constantly, I mean on the average of 200 to 300 times a day. Now moving on, we got the Packer fans. No complaints. In Minnesota, man, like, a lot of the residents are Green Bay fans. And a lot of Wisconsin residents are Minnesota fans. Like, you grow up with each other. Typically, one friend out of every friend group will be a Packer fan with there's Vikings fans, so you watch a lot of games together. Like, I just have too many personal friends of Packer fans to think anything bad about them. Now moving on, we got the Raiders. Half the fan base is awesome, half the fan base is just utterly delusional. Like, this team has been so dog shit for so long that their fans have been just completely brainwashed that they're gonna be all all of a sudden really good every single year when they're so clearly gonna be ass. Now we got Denver. I said this before and I will stick with it. I think half are cool and half are also kind of babies. Like, if you go on Denver social media after a Denver loss, half of their fan base is just gonna be saying outright, yeah, we played like dog shit and we got our asses kicked. And the other half will be coming up with any excuse as to why their team didn't perform well other than the fact that their team just isn't that good. Now moving on, we got the Chargers. I don't have a complaint with them. They've known their place as far as I'm concerned for years now. Like, they just want to see their team do good and they have been patiently waiting for years. All right, now moving on, we got Seattle. I think half are cool and half really suck. Thing about Seattle fans is that if you say something they disagree with, half of them will be extremely civil about it and be like, hey dude, I don't agree with you. They'll give their opinion and move on with their day. The other half, well, they'll call you brain dead, say you don't deserve to have a platform, or the classic, I don't know why anybody watches you comment. It ain't that serious, man. Now we've got the Eagles. Insufferable. Everybody had to have known that was coming. I think this is still one of the worst fan bases to ever exist in the history of sports. They're annoying, they're obnoxious, they're mean. If you beat them in their home stadium, they're gonna throw shit at you. Like, I just do not find myself ever having good interactions with Eagle fans outside of sometimes Icy Vert. Now moving on, we got San Francisco. Annoying. With how high and mighty this fan base acts, with how entitled they act, you would think that they didn't just lose the Super Bowl. You would think that they fucking won it. We all saw it. Like, you guys are not the best team in the league. Now we got the Commanders. I'm sorry, but annoying. No team in the history of the NFL has ever claimed to be slept on and not actually slept on more than the Commanders. Like, they're gaslighting us at this point. Like, you're sleeping on us. Bro, we're not sleeping on you because there's nothing to sleep on. Now we got the Panthers. I have no complaints. They've done nothing to me. I don't think they've done anything to anybody. How could they? And ending, we have the Browns. No complaints on them either. I would have a complaint if their fan base was like ride or die for Deshaun Watson, but it legitimately seems like 80% of them do not want him there, which I respect. And this is also just a very passionate fan base, and they always have been. Bad or good, they are passionate about that team. And that is gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen, for me ranking every NFL fan base. Hope you guys like this video. If you want to show support, please do it. You know I appreciate any and all help. However, in the meantime, I'm gonna hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.